Three top 15 teams lose in Week 6. Penn State, Texas, and Iowa State. Nittany Lions' loss to UCLA was historic. Penn State had won 34 straight against unranked opponents. The Bruins entered Saturday winless and become the first 0-4 team to beat a top 10 opponent since 1985. All right, back here with DiNucci, Richard Johnson. Let's welcome in 24/7 Sports college football analyst Brad Crawford, here to look ahead to the top 25, new poll released on Sunday. Brad, how far does Penn State fall in the rankings after this loss to unranked UCLA?
Yeah, I think Penn State falls out of the top 10, outside of the top 15, maybe 19 to 20 range. Because, look, Penn State was preseason number 2, right behind preseason number 1, Texas. Both those teams got beat today on the road. And Penn State's first 3 wins of the year were against no-name programs. No offense to those, Villanova and some of the few others. But Penn State did not show us yet they were worthy of a top 10 ranking. And frankly, after they lost in double overtime to Oregon, looked bad for 3.5 quarters that game, just got torched by Nico Iamaleava. 300 yards total offense, 5 total touchdowns. Just, I mean, in my opinion, it's the most shocking result so far we've had in college football this season.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Brad, I don't think Penn State or Texas should be ranked in the top 25 after this weekend. If I gave you any team, generic team, and said they've beaten an FCS team, Nevada, and FIU, that's what Penn State's done. If I gave you any generic team and I said they've beaten San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston, and I told you that neither of those teams have beaten a power conference team, I don't care what they started the season ranked as. That resume is not befitting of a top 25 team. It doesn't matter to me. Sure, they can work their way back in the top 25 later in the season, but right now, as a snapshot in time where we're at after Week 6, I don't think either of those 2 teams are top 25 teams.
They do have to have at least 25 teams in the top 25. That's just want to let you know that.
They do, yeah.
That's how it works.
I would like a couple of them to have beaten power conference opponents. That's all I'll say.
We know, and fellas, we know that's not how polls work, though. I mean, Notre Dame started the season 0-2, and they were still ranked in the Week 3 AP poll at number 22. Now Notre Dame has, got things back together, but I mean, 2 losses and you're still inside top 25. That's why Penn State will still be ranked on Sunday morning, likely in that 19 to 20 range.
Well, you mentioned Texas. Another top 10 team goes down. Number 9, Texas loses on the road at Florida. Brad, what's your evaluation of Arch Manning and the Longhorns here after losing their second game of the season?
Yeah, I think the Longhorns' playoff hopes, they were, hanging by a thread entering this game as a narrow favorite, and certainly, in my opinion, they're over with now. Arch Manning, he looks lost out there at times. There were certain points of that game in the Swamp today where he had guys open, did not hit them. Obviously, Florida did a good job pressuring him. But this Texas team is just, it's not elite the way we thought it would be coming into this year. And we sort of gave Arch Manning and the offense from Steve Sarkisian a pass at Ohio State. We know how good that defense is with Caleb Downs, Harville Reese, and some of those guys. But even against San Jose State and UTEP, finally against Sam Houston, Arch did look good. But there have been times throughout these first 5 weeks that this Texas offense has just been stuck in the mud, and it was largely for 3 quarters again today. So Texas is a team that I think will lose 3 or 4 more games the rest of the way.
Brad, my thing with this Texas team is, after seeing Arch Manning and his sample size a little bit last year, I think as a team and as an offense, there were a lot higher expectations on this. And through a couple games this year, for me, I would like to see Arch Manning speed his process up a little bit. He still looks slow getting through his reads, slow getting through his progressions. Even that touchdown that he threw earlier in the game today was kind of the roll pass to the flat on the right-hand side. The guy was open right away, right? Give him the ball, get the guys the ball in space, let your playmakers go make plays. So Arch Manning the rest of this year, let's see your process speed up a little bit, start stacking some wins, and see if we can start playing some good consistent ball.
Honestly, I will say the ironic thing is I don't think Arch is the reason they lost this game.
I don't either.
He threw a couple picks for the first time, but yeah.
Sure, but I actually thought Arch didn't play so poorly in the second half. I thought he played pretty decently. the problem is Texas got their tails whipped up front on both sides of the ball by a Florida team for Florida's defensive line doesn't even have its best player in Caleb Downs. He's out for a significant amount of time with an injury. That's the most frustrating thing for me if I'm a Texas fan. It's, man, you at least got something out of Arch in this game, but he's on the ground 6 times. He takes 6 sacks because you couldn't protect him.
All right, ranked on ranked in the ACC, number 3 Miami against number 18 Florida State. Canes control most of the game. Brad, Miami nowhere to go with Ohio State and Oregon right in front of them, but most importantly, they keep pace.
Yeah, I think Miami's the best team in the country here after week 5. I said it 3 weeks ago when they first beat South Florida by 30 points. They nationally ranked South Florida team at the time. Carson Beck has just picked up where he left off from the first few weeks of the season. Had a couple touchdown passes tonight. They have a freshman wideout, the Hurricanes do, that is just sensational. I mean, he is as good as DeCorian Moore for Oregon, 5-star Malachi Toney for the Hurricanes. So Miami's a team that is probably going to be undefeated. They're my projected ACC champion. And there is a scenario, fellas, I was looking it up. Virginia, Miami, and Georgia Tech could all potentially finish 8-0 in conference play, and then we move to the tiebreaker. So the ACC championship race isn't out of the, it's not over yet, but Florida State is out of the picture.
Yeah, I think Miami is a really good team, just like you do. To be honest with you, though, I think Ohio State might actually be the best team in the country, but I do understand that Miami.
Wait, is Brad, are you saying that Miami's the best team in the country? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, I would have Miami number 1 in Brad Crawford's poll after week. Yeah. I mean,
okay.
I've said that for weeks because I think the line of scrimmage, Miami is the best team in the country on the offensive side of the ball, and maybe with Ruben Bain, defensive line in the trenches as well.
I do. If you take the resume,
Ohio State has allowed less than 10 points in all 5 of their games.
But if you take the resume and you combine the resume
Fair.
with what you're seeing, I understand how you can have Miami.
See, now people in the comments go, he hates Miami still.
You're finding what you're trying to find a way.
Too means something.
Miami's beaten 3 top 25 teams, and Ohio State's best win is against a horrid Texas. So,
you got any thoughts on that? Miami, number 1 team?
I don't disagree with it. I just think Carson Beck has played really, really well this year. He's changing the narrative that I think a lot of people have thought about him coming into this year, myself personally, right? You watch these guys, you create opinions on them. He's done a really good job of playing ball this year, shutting out the outside noise. He's taken total control and command of this offense. I've been really impressed with how he's played, and it was fun watching him again tonight.
All right, maybe we'll get Ohio State and Miami playing for the Natty. We'll see what happens then. I'd like to take my chances there. College Football Playoff Selection Committee will release its first set of rankings on Tuesday, November 4th, as we get closer and closer, just about a month away. Brad Crawford will give us his top 12 teams each and every week leading up to the CFP rankings. Brad, take us through your top 12 predictions for Sunday. A lot of teams idle this week.
Yeah, I think the AP poll is still going to have Ohio State number 1 spot. A 39-point win over Minnesota. Buckeyes probably don't deserve to get docked for that. I do think Miami moves up to 2. I thought the Hurricanes undeservedly got docked last week for being idle. Oregon beats Penn State in double overtime. They lost that spot. Miami should move back up to number 2 after beating Florida State. And then, it's a lot of SEC teams. Ole Miss 4, Oklahoma 5, and Alabama after beating Vanderbilt. Black and blue game, very back and forth. Awesome game in Tuscaloosa. I think Bama jumps up several spots to number 6. And then Texas Tech. They showed me tonight they are deserving of a top 10 placement in Sunday's poll. Beat a decent Houston team, unbeaten coming in, with Baron Morton back at quarterback. So Red Raiders right now, I would keep your stock you have in them if you have a projected Big 12 champion, because Red Raiders look the part.
Brad, I agree with your list for the most part. The thing that I'm interested to see on this list, the number 4 team, number 5 team, number 11 team, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, LSU, we've got some questions at quarterback, right? So be really interesting to see kind of how this plays out for these teams. You hit it with Texas Tech, a team tonight just dominating, right? I think they're sneaking kind of really, really quiet through this thing right now, flying under the radar. And I think, as we get going here in the second half of the year, Texas Tech's going to be an interesting name and a popular kind of, pick to play really well, down the stretch.
Richard wants Texas and Penn State out of the top 10.
See ya.
He wants them out of the top 25.
Out of top 25, yeah.
Out.
Not going to be in my
Of course out of
top
the top
25 tomorrow for the CBS Sports 136. No, sir.
All right, we're out. Brad Crawford, Richard Johnson, Ben DiNucci. Ben DiNucci, see ya. Peace out. Appreciate you guys. Good stuff here on CBS Sports HQ. I always love the conversation when we get into the rankings because really it's all gonna take shape when the CFP poll comes out as you take a look at the odds to win the national championship. Number 1, Ohio State, the favorite to run it back, followed by Oregon and Alabama. And Miami right there, plus 800. Last school to win back-to-back natties, Georgia in 2021 and 2022.